She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. That's called the great big Minnesota scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is. I love it. She comes to our country and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother.
So Trump is campaigning right now for the Republicans in Pennsylvania. Could you believe that? He had to leave the White House to go campaign for Republicans. We'll be talking about that in just a second, but he decides to say what every official is too afraid to say. Now, earlier today, we got big news from Tom Homan that they're going to be investigating Ilhan Omar, but the saga just continues to get even wilder. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump, you got to hear the crowd go absolutely nuts when he starts to talk about Ilhan Omar. How did we get to this point? Trump talks about how Ilhan Omar just kept complaining about America, complaining about white people, complaining about white men, even though she married a white man, all of that. And now Trump has had enough. Here he is during a rally trying to save the Republican Party, because we'll talk about that in a second. But here we go. Watch what he says about her brother as well, marrying her brother. Just enjoy this clip.
Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, you know. That's called the great big Minnesota scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military. They have no nothing. They have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing. They have no police. They police themselves. They kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain. So now,
that's right there, as you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, the crowd went berserk. Wow. We also have big, huge announcement, but he spoke about Tim Walz and what's going on in Minnesota. Tom Homan had a big update for us today, but you heard the crowd, ladies and gentlemen, send her back. The crowd exploded, man. He also says if he was to marry his sister, that he would be out of there in just moments. This is probably one of the most hilarious clips. This is during the presidency, ladies and gentlemen. Trump is out campaigning for Republicans and the whole Republican Party in Mount Pocono in Pennsylvania. And again, he is letting us know. But here's where things get pretty crazy, because Trump is not just talking about it. It's actually something that is really happening right now. Tom Homan reports here, looking at Ilhan Omar's immigration files over alleged fraudulent marriage to her brother. So this is something that the Trump administration is actually really looking at. Trump administration border czar Tom Homan said in an interview Monday night on Newsmax that he was asked on the immigration records of Representative Ilhan Omar from Minnesota to be pulled for his review over allegations the Somali refugee married her brother to help gain residency in the United States. President Trump brought that up last week while speaking to reporters, and now he is bringing it up again during his rally, where he is letting everybody know how he feels. He feels that she has spewed so much hatred toward America, trying to change America. And he is saying that, nah, this is not how this is going to work. You literally, and by the way, you like got in here by marrying your brothers. Let's actually open that up. So Tom Homan, during an interview on Newsmax, actually ended up telling Eric Schmidt that, hey, during the investigation, who was president? The president was actually not Trump. The president was Biden. That's when all the investigation was really taking place.
That's clearly a deportable offense. Is there an investigation into that?
You know, I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, who reviewed the file, and says, there was immigration fraud involved. The statute of limitation became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who ran DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at it. But this fraud investigator, who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he reviewed the file. So I'm running that down this week, matter of fact, and we'll see.
Said. So we got big news about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is not going away, and Trump is not going to stop talking about it. It seems that way. So we have Daily Mail. We also had Tucker Carlson speak about this, where they found DNA from somebody that was a relative to Ilhan Omar. So this thing is getting more out of hand than you can possibly imagine. And if there is proof, and if it does happen, it's going to be one of the biggest scandals in Democrat history, because how can you trust a Democrat, or how can you trust Democrats, period, to hide that throughout that whole time? But again, Trump on the campaign trail, holding it down for the Republicans, which is another conversation that we got to talk about. Republicans aren't doing the best. And again, we spoke about Chuck Grassley, who again is a very much older individual. I think he's about 92 years old, with the blue slip. And what Trump is really pissed off about is that his attorneys are not getting his appointees and attorneys are not getting the approvals. Like they're expiring and they're having to just leave. And we saw what happened to Alina Habba. So Trump is already mad. He's already done. But again, Trump goes to Pennsylvania, and this is what happens. A lot of CBS, NBC, MS Now, aka MSNBC, have said that Trump is not popular anymore, that he's failing in his presidency almost a full 365 days in. But take a look at how the crowd received him.
Well, this is a nice crowd. You got a lot of people. You've got a lot of people standing outside tonight. It's freezing. They got here yesterday like at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Well, I'm worried about them. Would anybody like to give up your place? Let some people come in from the cold. You go out to the cold. I don't think so. I just want to say hello, Pennsylvania, and I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible Commonwealth with so many proud, hardworking American patriots.
What's the truth? Is Trump becoming extremely unpopular, or are the approval ratings actually rising? Is his whole agenda honestly actually going to play out? Or during the midterms, are the Republicans going to get crushed? Usually statistics show us that the president or whoever is running the House, usually the other side wins. So it's destined through history that the Democrats are going to overtake the majority. But that's what Trump is trying to stop. But here we go. I want to show you this clip because this clip is actually very much more interesting, coming from Fox here. Tyrus, who is an ex-WWE superstar, speaking on Fox. He calls out the Republicans for what Trump is having to do, right? Speaking about Ilhan, speaking about all these things. Take a listen.
I hate this.
Wait, what?
I absolutely hate that the president has to leave the White House to go campaign for these Republicans. Republicans, step up. Why does daddy have to come save you? This is the problem. Trump comes in, the arena's sold out. Everyone's going crazy. Trump leaves 4 people, and 2 of them are the Republicans' family members. Republicans, you have to step up. You should want the endorsement, but you should be the one knocking on doors. You should be the one, maybe it won't be a gold escalator like escalate like the president went down, but go down yours. Get out there. Get on social media. Go to the White House. He has important things to do that he's doing. He's changing the world for a better place. And now he's got to go fly out and bail out all these Republicans. You have to start stepping up and doing your part. The president should not have to do this.
It's interesting.
What are you going to do when he's gone?
It does happen.
Hey,
Like,
JD,
the
stretch.
easiest
You
thing
get
to
in
do
there.
is to ask the
Lose.
president.
Yeah, get in there. You wish, Jessica.
You wish.
I do.
Jessica.
I hope and pray.
Listen, the success in the Republican Party is as clear as Dana's little shoe box thing that makes her taller on TV.
So again, here he is. They were speaking about Trump. Shout out to Erica Kirk. She was there as well. And, you know, Jessica Tarlow not too happy, as she never really is. But he what he's saying is very true. I mean, the fact that he has to get out of the White House to go and campaign when that should be the job of, again, Republicans, lets you know that this Republican Party, if Trump never ran in 2016, I don't think I would have ever been ready. I don't think any of us, a lot of us probably wouldn't been into politics as much. But the fact is, I don't think the Republican Party would have ever won this much. I just don't think so. Maybe because of how crazy Democrats went with the woke ideology, right? With the women and men and women sports, men and women bathrooms, the trans stuff, and all the stuff that happened. Maybe, but still, he has to go and deliver economic addresses because of course, the mainstream media is not giving him the fair due on what his plans are, what his targets are. We spoke about that. The gas prices, they aren't really talking about that. Let me know how much gas prices are where you're at. But I think that the point here is that he has to get on stage, fly out of the White House to go and campaign for these guys now, starting now, because the 2026 midterms are very interesting and it's not looking favorable for a lot of these just lifeless Republicans, rhinos, or not even rhinos. It's just Republicans that aren't really putting in as much effort. Right now, the Democrats are really hungry. They're really hungry to convert people. They're using the ICE raids. They're using all of these things that they are trying to outsmart and get into people's hearts, get into people's minds. And they're going viral every other second. If the Republicans want to win, be honest with you, it's not looking the best right now, and that's why you see this happening. So let's see what's going on, guys. Let's see what the future holds. But I wanted to bring you what happened with Ilhan Omar and the crowd, but I also wanted to bring you some real other substance when it comes to what's really going on, why you see Trump campaigning, and you're definitely going to see him campaigning like he was in 2024, because that's how important for his agenda with the tariffs, maybe getting rid of income tax one day, right? Infrastructure, AI. I mean, all these things that he's working on, right? It's not going to be that easy if they lose the majority, because it's already hard to get those appointees with the Republicans in charge. So imagine if Democrats are in charge. That's how I think more difficult this would end up being of a presidency on a second term for Trump. And I think he knows that.